Hi. Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining me today while I make seitan bacon. I have a bacon recipe on my website, but this is not it. My bacon recipe, actually, I have two bacon recipes on my website. One is for tempeh bacon. One is for, I'm going to call it adzuki bacon. It is like sort of a seitan bacon, but it has beans in it. And I am on a low nickel diet, which means I can't have any beans or nuts or like anything that I normally eat as a vegan. So today I'm making bacon that's just seitan only with flavors in it that I'm allowed to have. So I am using a recipe from Loving It Vegan, and I shared that in the chat with you. And I hope that this is working because I have a new setup today. But anyway, so yeah, I did modify this recipe, so it calls for some things that I'm not supposed to have, like maple syrup. So I just replaced sugar and not as much, because also I can't have tamari because that has soy in it. So I'm using coconut aminos, which are different. And they're sweeter. In my opinion, they're sweeter. So I dialed back the sugar that I replaced the maple syrup with. I think it's going to be good. It smells amazing. It smells like bacon. So according to the recipe, you mix all of the wet ingredients. You whisk all the dry ingredients, which I've done here. And then you combine them and you knead it by hand, is what the recipe actually says. You're using another account. Oh, and can you hear me okay and see me okay? I'm using everything different today. I'm using my camera that I usually do my photography with, instead of using the camera on my laptop, which I usually use. And I'm using a microphone that I do my voiceovers with because the camera is so far away that I don't think anyone would be able to hear me. And this is my attempt at getting like more stuff in the video, because I watched the live stream I did yesterday and I felt like you could either see the stuff or you could see me. You kind of couldn't see all of it. So this is me trying to fix that. So hopefully everything is coming across okay. Okay, so basically I pre-did some of these steps in advance, but if you want to make this, I have put the recipe link in there. And so I'm just going to mix these together. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying, is she suggests you knead it by hand for 5 to 7 minutes. I'm not kneading this by hand because I have a mixer and I don't like to make extra work for myself if I don't have to. Kneading is not fun for me. It gets your hands all messy. This is what this looks like. I don't know what those little chunks are. I'm trying to remember all the things I put in here. But see how there's little chunkies? Not really sure what those are. Just gonna mush them. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm just gonna pour all this into my, this mixture down here is a bunch of spices. I also added smoked sea salt, which wasn't one of the ingredients that she suggested. Nooch, which, you know, if you're vegan, that's a necessity. But it's mostly gluten. Vital wheat gluten. So I'm gonna let that do that thing for, it's 9:02, so I'm gonna let that do it for 5 minutes. I'll see afterward what needs adjusting. The video size needs adjusting. So I don't know what that means, but I will tell you that, yes, I don't know what that means. I had a different lens on here and it was cropping my head like this. So you would have only seen this much down of me with the other lens. And so I switched it for this lens. And this lens kind of gets a lot of kitchen. Is that what you're referring to when you say the size needs adjusting? Because I do know that this is a lot of kitchen. But I think it's required in order to see the thing I'm doing plus me. But I don't know. Okay, so since that's going to take 5 minutes, I think we should make the marinade. And I'm just going to bring up the recipe for that over here. So the marinade says tamari, which I don't have so many, which I'm not allowed to have. I definitely have it and I love it. So I'm going to use coconut aminos, maple syrup. Because my coconut aminos are sweet, I'm going to replace that with half the amount of sugar. Paprika, tomato paste. I'm going to omit the tomato paste because I only have it frozen and I don't want to wait for it to defrost. Garlic powder, onion powder, liquid smoke. I have all of these things. I may replace the liquid smoke with smoked salt to counterbalance the fact that the coconut aminos are not that salty, in my opinion. When you're used to having soy sauce and tamari, the coconut aminos are not salty, is a thing that I'm learning. Okay. So I'm going to gather some ingredients. I should have done that before I started. Sorry. Okay. Coconut aminos. I got these from Trader Joe's because it's organic and cheap. Maple syrup, I'm going to use sugar. Paprika, I have in here. With my onion powder and my garlic powder. And then the smoked sea salt is in this little container. And I'm going to grab my sugar bowl. Okay, so for a marinade, what I'm guessing is going to happen is we're going to be making the seitan, steaming it, slicing it thin, and then putting the marinade on the slices because when I make my tempeh bacon, that's what I do. I put the marinade on the slices. So I think I want it in a cup or a glass because I'm going to be putting my little silicone brush in there and I don't want it to fall over. If I do this in a bowl, then I can't leave my brush in there. I don't think. I think it's better if it's in a glass. So I'm going to get a glass. And I'm realizing that this recipe doesn't have weights on it. It wants you to like dirty all the measuring spoons in the house, which is annoying. So we're just gonna eyeball it. It's a marinade. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're not baking here. I think it's fine. Okay. So for tamari, we're substituting coconut aminos. It says 2 tablespoons. I think 2 tablespoons of tamari is probably like 30 grams, I'm guessing. So this bacon is going to go in a potato salad because I'm having a backyard picnic pool party tonight for dinner. Maple syrup is going to be sugar. I'm just going to eyeball this. I think that's enough. Smoked paprika. I actually don't know if my paprika is smoked. It could be just regular paprika. Don't tell anyone. It seems like enough. Garlic powder, onion powder. I'm just guessing here. What do I think would be good? A lot of both. Okay. And then this, that's not even called for. So they call for 1/8 of a teaspoon of liquid smoke. This is smoked sea salt, so I'm going to use more than an 1/8. And I think that should be good. And there's not enough liquid in this, I don't think, because of all the substitutions I made. So I'm just going to add a little liquid. All right. I'm going to use this device. This is not a lot of marinade. For the amount of seitan I'm making, this doesn't seem right. I don't know if this is going to be enough for all of that bacon. But I can just add more water, I think, if I need to. Okay. Wow, that was very fast to make that. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I kind of want you to see what this looks like, but I think I need to turn it off and show you. It's kind of like, isn't that interesting? It's so strange. Definitely needs to keep going, but it's an interesting consistency. I don't have a ton of experience making seitan, to be honest. I'll make a roast for Thanksgiving. I used to make chicken nuggets a long, long, long time ago before it was easy to find that kind of stuff at the store. But yeah, in general, I wouldn't consider myself very good at making seitan. I'm also really picky about textures, which we'll see how this goes. Okie dokie, so this is way. I'm gonna find out what the next step is. Oh, actually, this is supposed to be done kneading by now. Which is weird because it's definitely not holding together like I thought. I wonder if that was my substitution for the tamari. How long does seitan take to bake? So that's interesting that you say bake, and this is why. So this recipe calls for you to steam it. When I made my sausage 2 nights ago, I baked it for 45 minutes because I like my seitan super chewy. I'm weird about soft, spongy seitan is not for me. So I like it super chewy, so I baked it for a really long time, and it's so good. This one, they say to steam for 20 minutes, but I'm using the oven instead of, okay, well, tell me what you think. So on a low nickel diet, you're not supposed to use stainless steel cookware. However, I'm planning on wrapping this in cheesecloth, a reusable cheesecloth. So it's going to have this thick barrier between it and the stainless steel. Do you think that that's enough that the nickel won't get into the seitan? Or do you think that the nickel gets into the steam and the steam is going to penetrate this and get into it? I think that's an important question because if I can use the Instant Pot, I'd rather use the Instant Pot. If not, then I'm going to steam it in here in the oven. Yeah. So I need help making this decision, I think. This is clearly not a recipe written for a low nickel diet. Okay, I'm going to stop this. This is so crazy to me. Like if you were to take this now and drop it into a deep fryer, or just to saute this in a pan, this would like be the texture. So we've basically created like pulled pork, I feel like. Isn't that wild? But anyways, okay, it's done kneading. So I'm gonna wrap it in the cheesecloth, and then I don't know what to say. I love the way you spelled seitan, that it's seitan because it's Satan, because you can't have gluten. This is not the recipe for the gluten-free, that's for sure. Like, is this gonna even hold together? I just don't know. I'm questioning this recipe. I have my doubts. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the instructions to see if I'm supposed to be flattening this out. Knead it. Form it into a square as much as you can. Do you think they mean a thin square, or do you think they mean a cube? I guess if they meant a cube, they would say a cube. For me, putting this in a square is not helpful if I'm about to put it into a round thing to steam. But they probably want it in a square because they know we're going to slice it into bacon. Yeah, okay, that's true. So we're trying to make this bacon into a shape of something that will become bacon. So I think I get it. I think I understand what we want. Okay, I am still waiting for my answer, Steve. I require an answer to my question about how to steam this. Don't make me make the decision myself. I have decision paralysis. It's a real concern. It's a real ailment that I suffer from. Okay. Okay. Is that square enough, do we think? It feels square enough. Okay, I think this is ready to steam. Definitely gets into the steam, but seitan isn't acidic, so there would be very little nickel leaching to begin with. Oh, I didn't even know that that factored in the acidity of the food that's in there. Okay. All right. So then I'm going to use the Instant Pot to steam this because it'll be much faster. And I feel like if I'm going to be streaming, we want to get the complete process in this video, right? Okay, so let's get an Instant Pot out. We're done with the mixer. Are we completely done? What else are we making today? Potato salad. Yeah, I think we're done with the mixer. We're making potato salad. We're making air fryer cinnamon rolls. And I'm not making those from scratch. They're from a can. So I don't need the mixer for that. Okay, so we're going to swap the mixer for the Instant Pot. As you'll notice, these plants are taking up a lot of counter space and they're not paying rent, if you were wondering. No rent has been paid by all these plants. Taking up space and giving back nothing. I guess they're giving back oxygen. Okay, so for steaming in my Instant Pot, I bought this little set of these things, but it came with this. So I could use the thing it came with. That seems fine. I'm also not using filtered water when I steam, which means this is tap water and the nickel has not been filtered out, so that could be bad also. I need to get used to this low nickel diet thing. It's only been a week, less than a week, I think. Okay, so we're steaming. Is there a steam button? There is. We're steaming for how long? 20 minutes, that's right. Okay, steaming for 20 minutes. This is where I kind of wish I could pause the stream, but that's not an option. You have to end it. You can't just pause it while you wait. But I can put everything away. And we can look at, I wonder if you can screen share. Oh, I can't because I'm using this camera. We'll look at what it's going to look like because I have it open here. You can get excited. This is what it's supposed to be. Well, let me find a better picture. This is what it's supposed to look like. I don't know if you can see that. It looks good to me. The other thing, though, is that after it's ready, the instructions say to fry it in a frying pan. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to bake it in the oven because I'm lazy and because I am lazy. They're both lazy reasons. The first lazy reason is I don't like standing over the stove, doing stuff. when something's in the oven, I can be doing other things. The second lazy reason is I don't like washing the cast iron pan because it's not dishwasher safe. I know, I'm the worst. So the last 2 nights in a row, I had bangers and mash for dinner. Tonight I'm having potato salad, so basically all I eat now is potatoes, is what I'm learning. That's what a low nickel diet is. It's just you eating potatoes over and over. I made a little doc, a little Google sheet of all the things I can eat on a low nickel diet. And I wrote potato salad on there, but it's a roasted potato salad, which I've never done. Have you ever made a roasted potato salad? Which I think is kind of like, it seems like it would be drier than a regular potato salad, in my opinion. But I think it's because if I'm cooking them in the oven, so when I made the bangers and mash, I cooked it in that same pot, that ceramic pot with water. So I was boiling it just like you would on the stove, but in the oven instead of on the stove. And they came out like, in order to test it for potato salad, you need the potatoes to be like this perfect amount of cooked, right? They can't be overcooked. With mashed potatoes, they can be overcooked and they're always good. But with potato salad, I feel like I'm going to have to be checking it all the time. I'm going to have to keep opening the oven and checking it over and over, which doesn't seem ideal. But what is my alternative? I boil the potatoes in a cast iron pan. Yeah, maybe I'm going to do that. Yeah, I think I'll do that. When you make potato salad, do you leave the skins on? Because I think I'm going to leave the skins on. I'm looking for my potato salad recipe. Oh, it's probably under... Oh, here it is. Roasted potato salad. It's under a lunch category, which is silly. Who's going to make potato salad for a lunch? I guess if it's food prep. Okay, the roasted potato salad says peel and cube the potatoes and bake them in the oven with frozen broccoli. Oh, I love broccoli in my potato salad. That's one of my favorite things. At 425 for 45 to 60 minutes. What should I put in my potato salad? Maybe we should talk about that. Obviously broccoli. Cucumber, because I have cucumber I need to use up. Pickles, because that's standard for all potato salad. But what else? I have carrots, I have purple daikon, I have pink daikon. I think all of those things would make it look really pretty. And I could cut them into stars or hearts, little shapes. And I think that would make it cute. And then a shit ton of dill, obviously. I have some pickled juice I would put in. And I just bought just now for it. So yeah. I don't think I can sit here and chat for the next 20 minutes while this steams. So I think I'm going to end this here. And then I can start it again when we finish later. And now that I have the scheduling figured out, I will schedule one for lettuce. Stop. Remove the space. Oh, I thought you were telling me I put my URL in wrong for the recipe. Did you see the recipe URL? Or did it remove it because I didn't put a space in? Putting lettuce in potato salad sounds so weird. So you're officially fired for making potato salad. I am the potato salad boss, and I'd like to give you your notice. No severance. You're just gonna have to go. Maybe sprouts. I would put sunflower sprouts, like a hearty sprout in there, or a pea shoot. Pea sprouts? Pea shoot? Pea sprouts? What's a pea shoot? Not pea shoots. Pea sprouts. I think I know what a pea shoot is, and it's not what I meant. I'm going to do a stream on Sunday when I bake the cookie dough we made yesterday. Am I going to do a stream tomorrow? I think tomorrow I'm going to make pizza. Maybe. I might. Or no, I'm going to make focaccia tomorrow. Or maybe rainbow bread. I can't decide. Oof. I'm going to a 2009 party tomorrow. And I wanted to bring slutty brownies because those were popular around that time. But I realize I can't eat chocolate right now because of my nickel diet. So I don't want to bring something I can't eat because then I'll just be jealous of everybody else. So no slutty brownies. What food was popular in 2009? I have no idea. I was thinking though, if I made a focaccia, I could use veggies to write out 2009 on it, which I think would be cute. Or I could use veggies to write out happy birthday because it's a birthday party. I think I could decorate the focaccia and it would be really cute. Rainbow bread would just be rainbow bread. And I'd have to do it tonight. I think focaccia is winning because I don't have much to do tomorrow. Okay, yes, focaccia is the winner. Okay. Thanks for joining me, Steve, since you're the only one who joined. I think. You're the only one who talked to me. And then, yeah, I'll set up one for Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. Although I don't know what time yet, but yeah, keep an eye out for it. Okay. Bye.